Hello, everyone, and welcome to the September the 11th regular Town Council meeting of the Town of Vegreville. Call this meeting to order at 7:01. Leslie? Okay, first up, I'll be looking for an adoption for the agenda. Councilor Rawa makes the motion. I would like to add a closed session item to do with some information regarding a parcel of land. So if you're okay with that?
That amendment, yes.
Okay, so she's okay with the friendly amendment. All those in favor of the amendment, the amended motion? Carried. Thank you very much. Next up, adoption of the minutes of our regular last council meeting. Council Lemko. So seeing how I wasn't at that meeting, was there any errors or omissions that showed up in these minutes? Deputy Mayor, did you see anything? You were at the meeting?
I don't know, I probably made a few errors, but I don't think anything detrimental.
Okay. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. First up, Interim Corporate Services Director Bryce Johnson. Director Johnston.
Thank you, Your Worship. So today we had our 2023 tax sale in the council chambers of the Town Administration Building. The sale included 4 properties listed as 5521 51st Street, 5601 51 Street, 4930 50th Ave, 5501 48 A Street. All 4 of those properties had a reserve bid. We had no attendees at the tax sale auction, and since there were no bids that we received, the result is the Town of Vegreville will be submitting the documentation to Land Titles Office for the transfer of these titles due to tax forfeiture.
Okay. So the recommendation is that we go forward with it. Okay.
Correct.
Take a motion for the recommendation. Councilor Bullock makes the motion. Any discussion? I know we've had some discussion about some of these. The tax roll 002600. Has that been on the tax non-payment for a while?
I believe so, and I believe that one has a property on it that is listed as part of the demolition order.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have any comments? All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you very much. Next up is business. We have I guess we have something from FCSS first, right? Oh, yeah. On the back page. I forgot to flip it, sorry. You'll be handing this CO link?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a request for council decision to accept Natalia Toroshenko as a member-at-large of the FCSS Advisory Board. At present, the FCSS Advisory Board has vacancies, and Natalia Toroshenko has submitted a letter indicating her interest in serving on the Vegreville and District Advisory Board. Natalia states, I am writing this message to you regarding the FCSS Board. I have an interest in being a member of this board again, particularly with my work in helping to settle the newcomer Ukrainians in Vegreville. I sat on the board as a municipal councillor for several years between 2004 and 2013 and learned about the excellent programs and services of which FCSS offers to the citizens of Vegreville. Several months ago, I participated as the chair of the Vegreville Stands with Ukraine Committee in a strategic planning exercise initiated by FCSS. Excuse me. It's become clear to me that there needed to be a representation from the Vegreville and Area Stands with Ukraine Committee on the FCSS board, ensuring support for these newcomer citizens. I would be honored to fill this position on the FCSS board with agreement from you and Town Council. Please consider my request and the benefits it may provide. I look forward to hearing from you in the near future. The FCSS Advisory Board is pleased to recommend Natalia Toroshenko as a new member to the FCSS Advisory Board and is confident that she will be an asset. A letter from the CAO's office indicating Council's decision will be forwarded to Natalia Toroshenko and the FCSS Board, and the recommendation is that Town Council approve The FCSS Advisory Board recommendation to accept Natalia Toroshenko as a member-at-large representative on the FCSS Advisory Board for a 2-year term commencing September 11th, 2023.
Thank you. Take a motion for the recommendation. Councilor Barry makes the motion. Any discussion? Go right ahead, Councilor Warwick.
Well, as always, we're just very grateful anytime somebody wants to be a volunteer on a board. I think Natalia will be an extremely great asset. She's not only would know the programs from her time, but she's volunteered in so many different capacities that I think she'll be able to add some great insight into programming now in the future in FCSS. So thank you to her.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, that being said, all those in favor? Carried. There we go. Then, on behalf of the citizens of Vegreville, Mrs. Toroshenko, thank you very much for putting your name forward. And I know she knows how that board works, so she'll be fine. Okay, let's try to do this right now. Next up is Jamison Brown.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Bear with me here. There we go. This is in regards to the establishment of updated pricing and marketing parameters for 3 vacant town-owned lots, including 4414 49A Street, 4709 49th Street, and 5617 49A Street. It's being proposed by the Community Engagement and Economic Development Department. The background on this matter is that all 3 above referenced lots are priced at $60,000 each and have generated very little interest from potential purchasers, leading senior administration to explore price adjustments. The MGA requires selling land at a price that is as close to reasonably possible to market value, and per the town's sale of town-owned land policy, the prices set by council can be determined by several factors, including the written opinions of realtors. The Community Engagement and Economic Development Department has dialogued with 2 local real estate agencies, and as expressed in the attached written correspondence, both agencies have deemed the fair market list value for these lots to be $19,900 each. Council must also set marketing parameters for town-owned land, including but not limited to listing the properties with local agencies and commission rates. All 3 lots, prices, and property details are presently posted on the multiple listing service, otherwise known as MLS, and Vegreville.com. Financial implications, should we forge ahead with the recommendation? Should council elect to list these lots with the 2 Vegreville-based real estate agencies, there would be initial service fees of $100 plus GST per realtor per lot for a total of $600 plus GST. Should a realtor approach the town with an offer that council is agreeable to, the realtor would also be compensated at a commission rate set by council. Communication strategy, Community Engagement and Economic Development Department will enter into agreements with the 2 locally based real estate agencies to begin the process of listing the properties at the updated pricing. As part of these agreements, the realtors will be required to place their for sale signage toward the front of the property. The existing Town of Vegreville signage will be removed. The properties must also be listed on MLS as well as featured on realtor websites. The properties will remain featured on Vegreville.com but will be updated to reflect new prices and for interested parties to contact local realtors. The recommendation is to set a new price of $19,900 for the above referenced lots and list the properties with the 2 Vegreville-based real estate agencies with a standard commission rate of 7%. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll take a motion for the recommendation. Councilor Bullock makes the motion. Any discussion or comments? Go ahead, Councilor Bullock.
Yeah, I think it's just wise to adjust the price accordingly right now and hopefully get those moved so we can get them back on the tax roll. That is all.
Well, and this has been an initiative of council, is that these lots are grossly overpriced, and they're never gonna move, and we're gonna be keep mowing in them, doing sidewalks forever, so I'm hopefully the local realtors will be able to move them at this price, and we'll get some tax base created, so. If there's no other comments, all those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you very much. Jamison Brown again.
Thank you again, Your Worship. This is in regards to the appointment of Mayor Tim McPhee as a representative to sit on the Regional Minburn Economic Development Committee, again proposed by the Community Engagement and Economic Development Department. In August 2023, as part of the next steps of the Regional Economic Development Framework, it was determined that a committee comprised of one elected official from the County of Minburn, Village of Innisfree, Village of Manville, and the Town of Vegreville should be created and a Memorandum of Understanding signed. This committee will also include Alberta Hub's Executive Director, the Town of Vegreville's Community Engagement and Economic Development Manager, and potentially others as advisory, non-voting members. While precise parameters have yet to be set, this committee will meet monthly beginning in September of 2023 and will be empowered to make decisions regarding the management of a regional economic development consultant, the cost of which will be covered by the ACP grant through to December 31st, 2024. This committee will also be tasked with the overseeing of projects undertaken by the EDC in 2024, including a potential business retention and expansion study, as well as other initiatives. Financial implications: the ACP grant provides $187,000 of funding to this regional initiative. Although unlikely, any additional funding for ancillary costs required would first need to be approved by the committee based on an intermunicipal cost-sharing formula. These potential funds, along with the proposed formula, would ultimately need council approval from all involved municipalities. The recommendation is that Town Council appoints Mayor Tim McPhee as a representative to sit on the Regional Economic Development Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take a motion for the recommendation. Councilor Lemko makes the motion. Any discussion? Did they ask for a alternate or anything in their proposal?
I beg your pardon, Your Worship?
Did they ask for an alternate or just one representation?
Not as of yet. Again, we're in the very preliminary stages, so that could potentially come down the pike in after the first meeting, right? Because I would assume that, councilors also have other things going on. An alternate wouldn't be a bad idea, but that is yet to be determined in terms of any specific parameters.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you, Jameson. Next up, CAO Ling.
Okay, this request for council decision is, the proposal is to submit an application to the Alberta Community Partnership, the ACP, grant to fund a regional recreational feasibility study. The town of Vegreville has begun to explore options for a new recreational center. As a hub community, we are aware that our recreational facilities are not only utilized exclusively by our residents, our facilities are currently used by many user groups and individuals from various surrounding regions. In the spirit of collaboration, the town of Vegreville is looking to partner with surrounding communities to align and create a strategic plan for a new recreational facility via a regional recreational feasibility study. It is our intention that regional recreational feasible study will be funded through the Alberta Community Partnership Program. This funding would allow our municipality, in partnership with the County of Minburn, County of Two Hills, Town of Two Hills, Town of Mundare, and Lamont County, to collaborate and create a strategic plan for a new facility that will accommodate sports, activities, and recreational programming for all age ranges within the region. Upon successful grant funding, the municipality will contract an experienced strategist to complete the regional recreational feasibility study, focusing on maximizing usership, sustainability, and overall economic viability of a new regional-based facility. The legislative financial implications: the Legislative Services Department will apply to the intermunicipal collaboration portion of the ACP grant to fully fund the regional recreational feasibility study, cost of up to $200,000. The information has been provided to the County of Minburn, number 27, County of Two Hills, number 21, Lamont County, Town of Mundare, and Town of Two Hills, with a request that they pass a resolution supporting participation in the ACP application for the regional recreational feasibility study with the Town of Vegreville as the managing partner. The recommendation is that the Town Council approve submission of an application for the intermunicipal collaboration portion of the Alberta Community Partnership Grant Program to fully fund the regional recreational feasibility study, and further, that the town of Vegreville act as the managing partner.
Thank you. Take a motion for the recommendation. Councillor Rudick makes the motion. Any discussion, any comments? Go ahead, Councillor Bullock.
Well, I think it's a wise idea to move forward with this study because all our facilities are aging and everybody in the surrounding areas seems to come to our facilities as well and share in everything we have to offer. And we have to look at the future of what's happening in our town. And hopefully down the road, we'll be able to collaborate and carry on with something really good for our area.
Go ahead, Councillor Lemko.
Yeah, I too think it's a great idea. I question one thing, maybe. Is there a thought that we would include member municipalities to the south of us? We typically go Highway 16 east-west and then Two Hills. But I do believe we have like the South, County Beaver, Holden, Riley, Bruce, and Viking as a thought, as a
For sure, the county of Beaver. I mean, we know just through the minor sports and stuff that are played here, and people I know from the county of Beaver that I see in our facilities.
yeah, it's a thought.
We do plan on reaching out. The grant application it's a short window, so we wanted to make sure that we could send out quickly, but we do plan on reaching out to the neighbors to the south, as well as there's a few other communities that were left off the initial list that we will reach out to.
Good. I know that we've been talking about this for a little bit here now, and this is the first step in this feasibility study. We need to recognize what the bills would look like, who our partners would be, and the more that we have, the more information and the more organized we are with our application to federal and provincial looking for grant money, is the better chance we're going to have to make this work. We all know where we're at with our facilities right now and what the money it's going to take to bring them up and just to keep them going, not only satisfy the needs of what this community looks like down the road. So I want to thank you and your staff for getting this ready. And it is the first step, and it's a first step in a long journey. And we're going to need to bring a lot of partners in and a lot of stakeholders in this. But I think myself personally, and I hope council feels the same, that this is what the future looks like. And as the hub for this region, we need to be able to have a facility like this, and hopefully we can get the school involved and move forward and make it a successful for the next 40 years at least in our community. So go ahead, Councilor Warwa.
Sorry, I was just going to add off a point you just mentioned, just for the general public, because some may confuse this with our previous study of the rec master plan, but I just think it's important to know that some of our focus may have shifted because of what we've seen and the data that the staff has collected here, which has shown that user groups from not only our area but surrounding counties and towns are coming to us, which maybe somewhat changed the next steps versus once upon a time when there was discussion about utilization of facilities that were outside of the community. Now what we're seeing is these people are already coming into the community here, and it's been important to take that next step. So, and thank you for the work. I know it's a lot of work to begin that, and this is the right first step.
I know it's a big challenge in front of us, and it's a few years to bring this project together, but I hope the citizens of Vegreville and the surrounding area are as excited as I am about this, because it's a huge need, and to keep putting money into our facilities just to keep them going and not thinking about the future is not a good move. So, all those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you very much. Next up is CAO Ling.
All right, the next up is the borrowing bylaw. Bylaw number 04-2023 is up for first reading. And this bylaw, number 04, 2023 of the Town of Vegreville in the province of Alberta, authorized the municipal council of the Town of Vegreville to incur indebtedness by the issuance, thank you, of debenture in the amount of $1,250,000 for the purpose of the forced main replacement. The bylaw goes on to state that the plans and specifications have been prepared and the total cost of the project is estimated to be $4,100,000, and the municipality estimates the following grant and contributions will be applied to the project. So we have a provincial grant of 1.6 million. We currently have a debenture bylaw, 02/2022 of 1.25 million, and then this borrowing bylaw of 1.25 million, bringing the total to $4,100,000. And whereas in order to construct and complete the said project, it will be necessary for the Town of Vegreville to borrow the sum of $1,250,000 for a period not to exceed 30 years from the province of Alberta or another authorized financial institution by the issuance of debenture and on the terms and conditions referred to in this bylaw. The estimated lifetime of the project financed under this bylaw is equal to or in excess of 50 years. And whereas the principal sum of the outstanding debt of the Town of Vegreville as of December 31st, 2022 is $10,773,023, and no part of the principal or interest is in arrears. All required approvals for the project have been attained, and the project is in compliance with the acts and regulations of the province of Alberta. So now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Vegreville in the province of Alberta duly assemble and act as followed. For the purpose of the forced main replacement, the sum of 1.25 million be borrowed from the province of Alberta or other authorized financial institution by the way of debenture on the credit and security of the Town of Vegreville at large, of which the full sum of 1.25 million is to be paid by the Town of Vegreville at large. The Town of Vegreville will repay the indebtedness according to the repayment structure in effect, namely equal semi-annual or annual payments of combined principal and interest installments not to exceed 30 years, calculated at a rate not exceeding the interest rate fixed by the province of Alberta or another authorized financial institution on the date of borrowing, and not to exceed 8%. The Mayor and Chief Administrative Officer are hereby authorized to issue debentures on behalf of the Town of Vegreville for the amount and purposes authorized by this bylaw, namely the forced main replacement. The municipality shall levy and raise each year municipal taxes sufficient to pay the indebtedness. The indebtedness shall be contracted on the credit and security of the Town of Vegreville. The net amount borrowed under this bylaw shall be applied only to the project specified by this bylaw, and this bylaw comes into force on the day it is passed.
Okay, thank you very much. So at this time, I'd like to take a motion for first reading on this debenture. Councillor Berry makes the motion. Any discussion? I think what the big difference is here is that when we applied for this, the financing through the grant funding, the provincial side came through, but the federal side that we had put in and the asked for through ISIP funding, there was no money allocated that was allocated left in the province. So we are still working and continue to work. The minute that the federal government releases some of the funds that they have in their budget through the ISIP program, we will be back at the minister's door trying to get this money. But for now, to move forward, we need to have this debenture in place because of the lack of support from the federal side of the grant money. So just so everybody understands that. And the tender did come back a little higher than what we thought as well.
That's correct.
Anyway, this piece of infrastructure is the most important piece that we have in our community, and it'll service this town and as we grow for the next 50 years. So, any other comments? Okay, all those in favor of the motion for the first reading? Carried. So we'll advertise now for 2 weeks?
Yes, this will be advertised in the paper for 2 weeks, and we'll continue on, I think October 11th is the set date for the second and third reading.
Okay, well, hopefully that we will have our Councillor Warwa, who has a very good listening device at the House of Commons. The minute they announce that funding is being released, that's in the budget, that's promised,
Certainly, you'll hear.
we will be back knocking on a door again, so. Okay, thank you very much. So next up is council reports, and we're gonna start with Councillor Warwa.
Thank you, Your Worship. Well, I was on holidays, so I've only got a couple. I attended the September 5th legislative meeting. On September 6th, I was able to take part in the council workshop and tonight's regular council meeting, and just want to say thank you to staff. I know it is not easy hosting somebody virtually for the number of hours of the workshop, but I appreciate that's a process we have in place, or in times prior I would have missed, and be it that we had, I don't know, 5 or 6 hour discussion, it was good to not miss it and be able to take part. So that's all I got.
Thank you very much. Councillor Rudick.
Thank you, Your Worship. Well, since we last met, September 5th was the start of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Board of Directors meetings, our quarterly meetings, and had the Finance and Audit Committee as well as the Prairies and Territories Caucus meeting that day. Lots of discussions similar to this table, and some of the things that are coming forward as key points of advocacy, as I mentioned at the Ledge meeting last week, are around ensuring that we have the renewed negotiation for infrastructure funding, and ensuring that some of the other aspects that are really important, the rise in homelessness, the increasing rise of opioid death, as well as the need for bail reform, is really impacting the safety in communities across the country, regardless of the size. So those are some hot topics that came up in Prairies and Territories. Council workshop on the 6th, more FCM meetings on the 7th and the 8th, and then on the 9th, as there were a number of other events for other members of council, I was able to attend an interview with some of the Rotary Club members, as well as the Interact youth group and Valid board members, all of whom have worked together to have the skate park set up. So it was great. A great weekend, as everybody knows, to be a farmer in the area, but also a great weekend if you happen to have a scooter, a skateboard, or a bike. That park has been consistently and constantly busy. It's busy from when I drop off kids at school in the morning to after school, and it's Saturday was a bustling place. So it was great to be able to talk about these kind of recreation opportunities and be able to see literally fathers with their daughters, kids with diverse needs in their wheelchairs, as well as a range of age of users of that facility, demonstrating the need for that type of infrastructure, bringing people together. It was really wonderful to see, and it was great to be able to have the interview with the UFA grant team there, to be able to photograph and see firsthand how important these pieces of infrastructure are. And again, hot on the heels of talking about the recreation feasibility study, really interesting to note, half of the users that were there are definitely not Town of Vegreville residents, so it was important for some of our neighbors across the street to be able to see that there's a lot of value in investing in recreation opportunities for their citizens too. So that was an honor, and thank you very much for giving me that opportunity. Today, some more FCM meetings as we kick off. I was originally supposed to be in Yellowknife, but because of the fires, we're doing all of our meetings virtually. And tonight's council meeting.
Thank you, and just so everybody knows that the Rotary, the official opening of the park is the 22nd of September at 4 o'clock, and it's amazing to see how busy it's been. It's quite an addition to this community. Next up, Councillor Bullock.
Thank you, Your Worship. So on August 29th, we had a value liquor presentation for one of the new businesses, and August 29th, hot box presentation, one of the new restaurants. On September 5th, our legislative committee meeting. September 6th, our council workshop, and tonight's council meeting.
Thank you very much. Councillor Curtis.
Hello. All right, for me, same thing, back to August 29th, some plaque presentations as well. August 20th, tourism board meeting, which I spoke to at our last ledge meeting, put some stats out there and some of the upcoming events. September 5th, our ledge meeting, September 6th, the council workshop, and then tonight's council meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilor Lemko.
Thank you, Your Worship. I too attended the August 29th plaque presentations at Value Liquor and Hot Box, and the Tourism Advisory Board meeting, which Chairman Councilor Curtis spoke to. September 1st, I attended the Alberta Day at Pasanka Park, and kudos to the organizing committee, Jameson and Michelle, who put that together with from a grant that they received from the provincial government. It was nice to see the amount of people that attended the market, and just lots of children, and it was a nice evening. On the 5th, I attended the Ledge meeting. Also on the 5th, I attended the Vegreville Stands with Ukraine committee meeting. Interesting note, we talked on the financial side of things. The fundraising that has taken place in the year and a half or year and number of months, that the community has generated over $127,000 through pierogies and all kinds of fundraising activities and donations from the citizens in this area and surrounding area. To date, the committee has supported $96,000 to the over 30 families that have come through our community, which is nice to see. Our donation center is still running. It's running out of the museum area, which it will be relocated to a location in town here, closer to Vito's in that area. So it's in the process of that happening, so we can hopefully have that out of the way before the corn maze starts. So there's some activity there. People still are donating stuff, but we're being selective in what we're taking from people. And we do have an interest of more people from Ukraine who are arriving in Canada and want to relocate to our area because of the success that this committee has done. So kudos to them, and kudos to the work that they do. On the 6th, I attended the council workshop and tonight's council meeting, Your Worship. That's my report.
Thank you very much. Councilor Berry.
Thank you, Your Worship. August 29th also is at the plaque presentations and the ledge meeting on September the 5th. And on September the 6th, the St. Joseph Hospital Community Board meeting. They're wrapping up and working on their long-range service plan. And everybody needs to be quite patient right now for the next while, because they've got a number of capital projects on the go at the hospital. There's some kitchen renovations for walk-in coolers and et cetera. A lot of floor areas are being replaced because they actually contain asbestos. Security upgrades and a new lab. So they've moved to a temporary lab, and they're now in the business of constructing a brand new lab. So there's a lot of work that'll be going on for the next few months there, but it will really upgrade the hospital nicely. They're still busy doing staff recruitments. The ER is busy. Connect Care is in place and has been working really well. An interesting point is, out of the students that they have been bringing in over the course of the summer the last while, I believe it's 7 students that they've had for nursing, and they've actually hired 3 of them to stay in Vegreville. So I think that's a very positive program that is operating there, of bringing them in, getting them exposed to the town, et cetera. And they have all expressed complete appreciation for the passes that they received to the fitness area and the pool. So I think that's a very nice thing the council approved for them to receive when they come to the community. There's also an interest with the Covenant Health to get more community visibility. And that's not just in our location, that's straight across Covenant Health, to try and start showcasing more what Covenant Health is and developing better profiles. And one of the things that, for job-wise, it's this very good opportunity that the Lakeland Employment is operating here, and will be having its grand opening on, I believe, the 18th. And they will definitely be going there because that's the type of focus where they can encourage individuals to see their postings for jobs and et cetera. So it was a very good meeting. That's where I'll leave that right now. On the 6th as well, council workshop and tonight's regular meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So as some of you may know, I've been away for a while, an extended holiday with my family in Nova Scotia. But since I've been back, well, and at first I want to thank everybody for filling in, and Deputy Mayor Curtis for doing a very good job, and you guys not giving him too much problems. It was good. I did watch, so. On the September the 5th, on Tuesday, I had a meeting with Alberta Hub and Minister Jones and 5 MLAs from this area. And we were talking about the increased role of the RETA, which Alberta Hub is the one for our region. Minister Jones is the Minister of Economic Development and Jobs, not Northern anymore, the previous minister. But he was quite open about some of the challenges that he sees in front of us right now, and even here in Vegreville, with us chasing more business for our industrial park and how we're going to create find employees and stuff. So we're working on that, and he's very interested in it. We had a legislative meeting that day. On the 6th, I was on a Teams meeting with Public Safety Canada, and it was our third meeting, mostly mayors from Alberta and the RCMP, the chiefs of the higher-ups in Ottawa, and they're talking about the ongoing negotiations and what would make better RCMP policing for municipalities, and I hope that they'll listen to some of them, because we've never had a say in any of the agreements that we've had before. And then on that evening, that afternoon with the council workshop. On Thursday, September the 7th, I met with the engineer group Maple Riders out of Ontario, and they are the engineers for Inca. And we took a little site tour down at the industrial park, and we had a good conversation about what it looks like moving forward on the engineering side. And today I was on a subcommittee meeting with John Espetouk in Fort Saskatchewan, and tonight's council meeting. But I have the pleasure of reading a letter that was written to Fire Chief Newton. I had the privilege of being one of the SPU task force leaders working in the Fort Smith over the last 10 days. Your Vegreville crew was assigned to our group, and they were exceptional. Brandon and the crew worked their asses off and were fun to be around. Your crew is made up of dedicated and talented firefighters who showed great initiative and cooperation. You should be very pleased with them, as they represented your department well. They worked hard, showed enthusiasm, were eager to learn from others. This is not an official thank you from the Fort Smith or the AEMA, but just an observation and thank you from me. Good people deserve a pat on the back once in a while, and they were awesome. Please pass on my gratitude and admiration to each member of your crew. I hope you and your crew stay healthy, happy, and travel home safely. And this is from Aaron Floyd, the Deputy Fire Chief of the town of Whitecourt. And he was working with the firefighters from Vegreville that were up there. He was their leader. And it's very nice for him to recognize them. And this is not the official one from Fort Smith or anything, but just the fact that he made that observation. So, okay. Is there any other business of council? That being said, I will take a motion to go into closed session to update a land situation. Councillor Bullock makes the motion. All those in favor? Carried. That is at 7:41, Leslie. Would anybody like to have a break before we start the next part?